So we just got back from seeing X-Men Apocalypse. By the way, this is my good buddy Alex. Alex, introduce yourself. And we had a fucking blast, didn't we? That was one of the hottest movies I've seen so far this year. From top to bottom, I mean, Bryan Singer really did, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He really did do it. And it's so funny to me because the last X-Men movie I thought couldn't be topped.
No.
I thought Days of Future Past was the epitome of not just X-Men films, of comic book movies in general, and films in general, but he topped it. He did. I mean, let's start in the beginning. You know the plot. It's X-Men Apocalypse. It's, of course, the apocalypse coming, the Ensabanur coming back to our time and awakening. And the way he started the movie, when he went to 3,600 years before Christ.
Yeah.
And he goes to Egypt and he shows and the magnitude of everything.
Right.
Like the scale, the CGI was marvelous.
Oh my god, you couldn't even tell.
Right? I mean, that sequence when he like went over the pyramid and you see all the people bowing down to Ensabanur and him go, like, it was beautiful. Beautiful. And then the way he did the opening, he took his time, you know what I mean? He didn't rush it. He introduced you to the character and the mythology of Ensabanur.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. What did you think of that? What did you think of the introduction of Ensabanur? Not really making his story too complex, just making it straight to the point.
I like how they show you what he does, why he's immortal, the way he is, that he transfers himself to another person. I like that. Wasn't complicated. It was straight to the point.
Exactly. It didn't over-explain. No. You know, they just showed that, yes, there's this gold, and it transfers down to it. And he, again, as you said, is just simple and to the point, just showing how he continues to be immortal.
Exactly.
You know, what did you think of the people turning on him? Not his mutant, not his horsemen, but the people of Egypt. What did you think of that? And them saying, death to the false god.
Well, it's like... I can understand what it's coming from. You don't want somebody with that much power. Right? And at first, the talk he gives you, you believe it.
Yes.
And the power that he gives you.
Exactly, and we see that through the movie when he recruits his new Force Horseman.
And toward the end, people make them realize.
Did you notice that was the same exact thing?
Yes.
In the beginning, people realized that he was a false god, and at the end of the movie, spoilers, but people realize he's a false god. Even the people who follow him now, not just the people around him, the people who follow him, his own horsemen. Yeah. And I love that. That was great. That was great. Then we cut to our time, and we see Charles obviously in a school, and it's progressing. We see Scott Summers. I like how Bryan Singer took time to show Scott in school. Right, and how he first gets his powers, how he's afraid. I thought that was freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
And the fact that the way that they kind of took Scott and they took his brother and they kind of built that relationship, they didn't overdo it. No. But even though something happens there, in the movie, we won't spoil it. There's no spoilers in this one. Something happens in the movie, and you feel that emotional moment with Scott. Oh, yeah. And again, they didn't overcomplicate things, but you understand the emotion, the feeling that he has. Oh, yeah. What did you think of that? What did you think of Scott Summers in general in this entire movie?
Scott Summers,
from the introduction to the end.
Well, in the beginning, he's no spoilers, but he's pretty much your typical teen.
Yes.
Bullied, all that.
Yeah, tempered a little bit.
People don't understand him. Well, when the incident happens in the school, and everybody, his brother and all, takes him to
the school.
Charles, and from there, you kind of get a feel for him, what he's like.
Do you think his character grew enough in the movie for you? Did it grow just right?
I think he grew just right. It didn't show too much of his progression.
It did show enough for you to care for him, though.
No, but it gave you enough to get an understanding of him. That's what I think.
I thought his dynamic with Jean, by the way, was perfect.
Yes.
That gets me to my second point. The way Jean is introduced, I love the fact that she is in everybody's head.
Oh, yeah.
And she feels what everyone feels.
Oh, yeah.
She understands everyone's point of view, but no one can understand her.
No.
And that's the best part about this version of Jean Grey, the real version of the comic book version of Jean Grey, the young version, is that Bryan Singer fleshed her out. He didn't show her backstory. No. He didn't have to. He didn't have to show where she comes from. The way she was introduced into the story and the movie was I loved it. We're going to talk about what happens later on in the movie, of course, but for right now, we're just saying that I thought that was beautiful.
It was, very.
Also, the way that this movie showed the life of Eric outside of being Magneto, him trying to find the life in Poland, was, to me, even though it was just one scene before the tragedy happens, it was enough for me to feel that tragedy. You know what I mean? Obviously, you see in the trailers he loses his family. We're not gonna say how or what happens, but he does lose his family. And that scene when he does lose his family because of them taking that 5 minutes beforehand to show what has been going on in his life.
Right.
You feel that moment. I mean, I knew it was coming.
Right.
But the way that the scene flew, the way that he just dropped down to his knees, and what he did afterwards, which was epic on its own right, was perfect. What did you think of that introduction with Eric's family and kind of the life he's built around
that? Can I mention what his profession was without?
Yes, yeah. Go ahead. All
right, I like that he was trying to kind of have his own life and a steel mill.
Yeah, notice he was driving a cheap ass car too. Yeah. He said he tried the Charles way.
Yeah, he tried the Charles way. Obviously, it didn't quite work for him.
Yeah.
And somebody turned him in because he actually saved the coworker's life.
Yep. Which, and they were afraid of him.
Yeah.
And they thought he was the mutant from the White House incident from the 70s.
But in my opinion, if he saves you, you shouldn't do that. But somebody did.
But that's the point. That's people. That's Homo sapiens.
Yeah, that's how people think it. So, but when what happens to his family, I'm not, without spoiling anything, I like what happens right before they get killed.
Yes, that was, dude, that, I swear to God, I wish that his family didn't get killed because I wanted to see that take, kind of grow and mold on its own right. And again, we're trying not to spoil here. Right. But I understand why they did it. And that made it that much more emotional.
Well, I'll say this. The scene is very wild.
It is, but it's wild. Yet at the same time, it's calm.
Exactly.
It's so emotional, and when everything does happen, what happens?
Exactly.
You can't help but just feel Eric. You've seen him grow through these movies, especially. I mean, Michael Fassbender's version through First Class and Days of Future Past, and when that tragedy happens to him, such a great actor too, by the way. I mean, he delivered a hell of a performance. Beautiful. But again, you feel that. You feel that moment. Moving on, I like how they showed Nightcrawler and Archangel fighting in that club. That just shows what people think about mutants. They just want them for their own entertainment. Yeah. And that builds the entire storyline of people misunderstand. What people hate what they don't understand. Martha Kent said it best.
Yeah.
People hate what they don't understand. And that shows, and obviously that's been the whole point of these X-Men movies, that people fear these mutants. People don't understand these mutants. Did you like the way that Mystique kind of saved Nightcrawler? Kat Wagner.
I actually do like that. And Mystique and the woman that plays Mystique in this,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. Sorry, I'm not good with names. But when it comes to hot women, it's just
exactly right. She was good looking in that first look. Yeah. When she first arrived, I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like this. Okay, she got some nice tight stuff going on. It was good. I enjoyed that. That was a nice eye candy.
Yeah.
But
getting back to the main point, I do like that. Yes, that she saved him. That's good. I like that. And the guy that plays Nightcrawler in this. I think he fits the role pretty well.
He's 18 years old. He's from Ender's Game. I think that was the movie was, and he did really well. He did a great German accent, perfect. I mean, beautiful. But
one thing I have to nitpick. It was very good German, but at times it did sound a bit Indian. At times,
Indian,
a little Indian at times. Like some of it, certain times, like. You know how
I didn't see it. I didn't even hear it. Maybe you did.
Yeah, I can hear that a little bit. That's the only nitpick I have. But other than that,
I mean, I didn't hear that. But again,
I'm not gonna spoil where it is.
I like how he flowed. The way he was acting as Nightcrawler.
Very good.
That was literally Nightcrawler from the comic books. I mean, even in X-Men 2 was Nightcrawler from the comics. But this was the young kid, the kid who's just being introduced to all of this. Who's so young and a rookie, the best word to describe, into the mutant world and to the mutant life in the real world, not in a circus.
No.
But I love that. And here's the thing, the one thing, see, this is my baby girl, so I gotta pick on this.
Yeah.
They didn't give me, it's not that they give me enough. I wanted more of the backstory of Psylocke of Elizabeth because, in my opinion, she's such an incredible character. I mean, I know it because I've read the comics, and to me, it's not that they didn't give her justice. I thought the action with her, the way she was, the way Olivia Munn moved as her, she captivated me as Psylocke. I just wanted to see more of where she comes from because they took that time with Scott. I understand he's a hero, he's kind of the main protagonist, she's the villain, but they took that time with Scott. They did it with a little bit with Kurt Wagner and the way, Mystique finds him. I understand why they didn't do it. Maybe they shot it, it just got cut. I just really feel that her just 3-4 minutes of her backstory, because trust me, people, it's really good, would have been that much more richer to the character. Because Aurora, Storm, even though we didn't see her backstory, we know she's homeless. You know, she doesn't have a family. No. She's a kid running in the streets of Egypt.
They did technically address that she's homeless, considering where she brought.
Yeah, well, no. But what I'm saying is, they showed enough of her story, not as a story, but as through visual storytelling, and you understand her. You understand she's an orphan, she's homeless, she's a kid walking around the street. She steals food in order to survive. Yeah, you know, and again, when she ends Sabanur, that's the first mutant she's seen. Yeah, you know, she didn't think there was any other mutants in that city. No, you know what I mean. By the way, even though again, this is a little nitpick, where the fuck did he get those robes? Because remember, he awakened, teleported. And then the motherfucker shows up in the middle of the street with wearing clothes. Okay, but
the funny thing, what I found weird about that is it me, or did his robes kind of have what's the guy's name from?
I think I generated my own question, by the way. Yeah. Didn't you see him build the armor on people? Yeah. He can technically build matter.
He could have done that to himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm now answering my own question. I'm like, wait. Because if you remember, we saw him build the armor on people. Yeah. So now I'm a dumbass.
He could have done that, yeah. Yeah. But my thing is, you know, it's kind of realized it kind of looked like a little bit of an Assassin's Creed type thing.
Yeah. By the way, I forget about this. You're right about that. It kind of did look like. I like how when he talked to his new 4 horsemen before they were his horsemen, the way he speaks to them. Oscar Isaac's performance is beautiful. I mean, people, this guy's legit. Oh, yeah. He really showed how flexible of an actor he is. He can go from playing Poe Dameron, the nicest guy in the freaking galaxy that you just want to cheer for, to playing one of the most vicious, horrific villains in the Marvel Universe. I mean, when he touched that screen and he was learning what he's missed, and Aurora was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Learning." That was... I loved, and the way he was speaking to Magneto and Psylocke and Aurora, just everything, the way he brought the Horsemen to himself, and the way he made them follow him, obviously going into their rage, into their emotional feelings. That's the way he does things. Yeah, really well done. Did you like Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse and Sabanur?
I think he did that very, very well. I don't really have any complaints on that. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Apocalypse looked well? Because people were bitching about it beforehand.
Okay. Yes, he was CGI.
Well,
in the big guy, like big CGI.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
And you see that in the trailer, so it's not.
Yeah.
When he's that really big.
When he's fighting Xavier, yeah. What did you think of him as just Oscar Isaac in the suit and everything and makeup? What did you think of that?
Pretty much, I think it was dead on to the comic.
Exactly. So dude, it was like he ripped it off the page and put it on screen. I mean, it was ridiculous, guys. Like, you have to understand, like, when you really see him in action and really the suit moves. I mean, wow! It really is. It really does give the character justice. You know what I mean? But let's go on. We're kind of talking about the same thing here. What did you think of the Quicksilver scene? And Quicksilver in general, because, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that scene alone is worth the price of admission. The price of admission alone is I'm telling you, we knew it was going to be bigger than Days of Future Past. Yeah. But my God. I mean, the music, Sweet Dreams, the way he's introduced.
When he first shows up, it's like,
It's Quicksilver. Like, it's the camera goes below, show his Nikes, and then shows him. Everything's super slow mo. He's like looking at the address. Oh, it's here. He like.
Yeah, but and then let's go with his Twinkie and just.
Yeah, right. That's why he had a Twinkie. He had a Twinkie. It was great. That scene alone, guys. We're not gonna spoil anything. No. It's marvelous. The 3D effects, by the way, while we're on it. It's worth seeing this movie in 3D. Yeah. It really is. Like, you get to feel the 3D in this, What did you think of what happened, again, we don't spoil, in the Weapon X program? Obviously, it's been confirmed. You've seen it in the trailers. Right. What did you think of that entire sequence with Wolverine? Without spoiling too much, because I'm going to say this, my friend. That was the most brutal Wolverine sequence I have ever seen in any X-Men movie. Yeah, exactly. In any X-Men movies. I mean, this was, by the way, this movie was PG-13. Yeah. There were moments not just the Wolverine sequence, I mean everything. What you saw in the trailers of Apocalypse killing 3 people with sand, that's not what happens in the fucking movie, people. You don't understand. This motherfucker, I'm telling you, I don't know how they got away with PG-13. I do not know how they got... Look, the amount of blood in this movie and gore, I do not know how they got away with PG-13.
Well, yeah.
And back to the Wolverine sequence, what do you think?
Considering they were calling him Animal.
Yeah.
And what that giant thing he was in. Damn.
Yeah, right. That's all you can say. Like, you're just sitting here like, fuck. Like, dude, he whooped. He laid people. I mean, he put in that extra work.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that sequence alone as well.
Yeah.
Is worth the price of admission. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
I love it. We're rambling on. Anyways,
continuing
on. What did you think of Storm, not Storm, excuse me, but Mystique kind of coming back and taking not this leadership role, but kind of this motivator? You know what I mean? What did you think of that?
Well, everybody looked up to her.
Yes. And of course, again, thanks for mentioning that, because in the beginning of the movie, right after the whole Egyptian sequence, they show history being taught.
Right.
That's what Scott Summers is. They show history being taught that this happened in the 70s. A stadium was dropped right at the White House.
Yeah.
A mutant was supposed to kill the president, but another mutant saved him, Mystique.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of history, and that's what I love about this movie. It all ties in together. Exactly. But you were saying.
Well, what I was saying, I like that. At first, she's saying she's not the motivator. She's not a hero.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
When the students start telling her and she starts listening, getting it, it starts getting to her.
Exactly. She's something more than just a Mystique.
Exactly.
You know? And I love that, because finally through these 3 movies, through First Class, Days of Future Past, and now Apocalypse, it's been such a beautiful character progression. Yeah. From where she started to where she was to where she is today.
Exactly.
I don't know why people hate on J-Lo. I think that is just stupid hate. Oh, that's Katniss Everdeen. No, it's not. In this movie, that was Mystique. In Days of Future Past, that was Mystique. And in First Class, that was Mystique. Exactly. People should shut the fuck up. We're just saying. She's great. She's fucking great.
And not just for being hot either.
Exactly. You know, she's a great actress. She is a great actress.
She is very.
Oh man, there's so much stuff in this fucking movie. There's so much shit in this movie that we have to cover. So we covered the X-Men. What did you think of the entire sequence since he captures Xavier? Yeah. And we're not gonna spoil why. We're not going to spoil why, because you got to see this on your own. That entire last, half an hour or so in Egypt, when he builds that enormous pyramid, and that incredible action all over the place. What did you think of that? Just talk to me. What did you think of that? Because in my opinion, that is the hottest action sequences I've seen in X-Men movies. And in Days of Future Past, that's some pretty freaking epic action sequences.
Well, we know what's happening when he's doing all that.
Yes.
That's a lot of death.
Yes, there is. Yes, that's another thing. Thank you for mentioning that. Millions of people died in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was not just because of Sabanur, but because of what Magneto was doing with his full potential and power. Right. We won't spoil. No. But let's just say that both Sabanur and Magneto have a force to play into this destruction. But you were saying the amount of destruction. Yes, millions of people died.
Millions of people, and it's like it's a PG-13 movie. Back to what you were saying. It's kind of like, how did they get away with killing that many people? No, but it's not just, don't see it. But
it's not just that bothers me with PG-13. It's what bothers me is that not bothers me. I enjoy the hell out of it. It's just that not just the Wolverine sequence, everything. I mean, dude, there were moments in this movie where you were like, "This is PG-13." Yeah, exactly. I mean, cuss words. Wolverine, by the way, lays the best F-bomb. Not Wolverine. Magneto lays the best F-bomb I have ever seen in any movie. I mean, talk about perfect fucking timing. Okay, that was. We're not gonna spoil it because you got to see it on your own. Yeah. But that was the best F-bomb I've seen in a movie. I mean, it was that one F-bomb that you can use in it. That one F-bomb you can use in PG-13. He saved it for the perfect fucking moment. Bryan was like, oh, this would be a good time to say it. This would be a good time to say it. And by God, the entire movie theater died, man. We were loving it. Oh, yeah. But the millions of people dying. Continue on.
What that scene is, with that whole dust storm.
Well, not dust. He was literally obliterating matter and creating his own.
Yeah, but it looked like the dust and all the debris.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to realize when you're looking at this
that people are dying.
No, not just that. This is done with a computer.
Oh yeah. The CG is ridiculous. Yeah. As I said, it's ridiculous. People bitched about the CG not looking good in the trailers. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. No, you cannot tell the difference. Can't. Like, look. it's not just CG, it's on an epic scale.
It is.
You sit down, I mean, you understand, the things you see destroyed in the trailers, like the cities and everything, you haven't seen shit. They don't give away shit in the trailers.
No, they didn't.
You can see every person dying, flying up, and obliteration. It's insane. I love that. But what did you think of everyone fighting with each other? The Four Horsemen versus the X-Men.
Well, the four Horsemen of the Apocalypse versus the X-Men. I liked how they fought, how the scenes, like, I liked how Storm, and I liked
Cyclops. Yeah, the CG in that was really good as well.
That.
Yeah. What about the choreography fight between Beast and Psylocke? I thought that was hot.
Was good.
I thought that was hot.
Very good.
Also, by the way, the sequence with Xavier and Apocalypse, not anything away. It's a pretty hot action sequence.
Yeah.
It's a pretty hot action sequence. Like, it's more than just him becoming big and, dropping Xavier. It's pretty well done, and the emotion in that.
And the lines that Xavier says to him when he gets into it. That was perfect.
Oh, so good, bro. So good. Thank you for... Man, that's true. It's so good. Yes, by the way, Jean Grey. Let's talk a little bit more Jean Grey. I thought... I forget the actress's name. She obviously plays Sansa in Game of Thrones. She... Perfect. I just can't say anything else.
No.
What happens towards the end with her...
Right.
Yes. Yes. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Is, first of all, again, back to the CG. Oh, holy shit. This movie was started to shoot, just like Civil War, in May of last year.
Yeah.
They shot the movie, post-production it in 1 year.
Yeah.
And this is what you have.
Yeah.
And it looks...
realistic.
There wasn't a single time, and in Civil War there are times where you can tell CG. There are times where very few times, but you can tell that it's CG.
Yeah.
In this movie, you can't.
No.
And that's what amazes me.
Oh yeah.
The powers of the mutants, the destruction, the epicness is amazing. By the way, the sequence, again without no spoilers, between Quicksilver and Apocalypse. I thought his house sequence couldn't be topped, but shit, it got topped. Wow. This movie, I mean, we can go hours and hours about this movie. It really, to me, there are a few nitpicks, and to me, there were things that were a little bit awkward in the movie. Like, for example, when Mystique, or Raven, and Quicksilver were talking to Magneto. That felt a little bit awkward, you know what I mean? I thought that there were a few things that could have been done better, again, with Psylocke and everything. But at the same time, those are just nitpicks. Like I tell people, those are nitpicks,
Small nitpicks.
Exactly. But they do add up.
They do.
I don't want to go into detail about it because they are so nitpicky, but they are there.
Right.
Just like every movie. They are there.
Yep.
But to me, this is a 9 out of 10 master. I mean, my God. Don't listen to the fucking critics. The critics don't know what the fuck... This movie, I can tell you honestly, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
9.
I mean, you can even give it a 10, but again, my nitpicky is nitpicky. But critics that bash this movie, and there are a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I even understood with BVS why they bashed it.
Yeah.
This movie, I'm sorry. I don't see it. I really don't see it. This is a gorgeous, ridiculously funny. This movie was funny with all its goriness and darkness. It was hysterical.
It was
not just with Quicksilver, with everyone.
Yeah, with everybody. The lines and action, how they're perfectly placed.
They flow very well. Why? Because you believe them, because that's how the characters are in the comics.
Exactly.
Bryan Singer just gets it. He just knows how to make this all flow together in one epic conclusion movie.
Yes, he does.
And the way he sets up, he ends his story, because this is the last Bryan Singer movie for a while, for the X-Men. He ends what he started, yet he starts something new.
Exactly.
Not just with Wolverine. He gives him his own new beginning.
Yeah.
But he gives a new beginning for the entire franchise. He is literally saying, okay, I fixed everything. I made my epic movie. This was my vision, and I set everything up for a universe. And I'm sorry, if now Fox fucks it up, it's on Fox.
It's on them.
Because Singer, I mean, you can't hand the torch over any better. You can't. This literally, I sit down and wonder. I'm like, the only way you fuck it up is if you're a dumbass. Yeah. Because Singer sets this up for years to come. You can make sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel. And of course, thanks to Deadpool too. But Singer, man, he did an outstanding job. Yeah, outstanding. We could have spoiled this movie and really got into detail, but we don't want to. And trust me, we spent 25 minutes talking about it right now. We can talk 25 minutes more.
Oh, yeah.
Because this movie is dense.
Yeah.
But it flies by. 2 hours and 20 minutes have never been gotten by so quickly, in my opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, Civil War is the same amount of time. It's like a few minutes longer. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt like, okay, yeah, this is almost a 2.5 hour movie.
Right.
I don't feel it with Apocalypse. It just flies by, man. It It flows so well with each other.
Yep.
You know.
It flew by. It flew by like very quick, but he accomplished everything.
Exactly. You got all your money's worth. You got to see everything you wanted to.
Yep.
And more. And it makes you go like this. Can I get a sequel now, please? Like tomorrow, can we go see the next one?
Yep.
And by God, Fox has something special right now.
Oh, and that post-credit scene.
Oh, I think that doesn't just set up the next Wolverine movie. Yeah. That sets up the next X-Men movies.
Oh yeah.
In the New Mutants. And again, we don't want to spoil, but please do, guys. Make sure you go see this movie this weekend. It's a 4-day weekend. It's Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Go ahead and see it. Our vote of approval, it got our money.
They got it.
9 out of 10, man. Yep. Beautiful. Thank you, Bryan Singer, man. By the way, thanks to us, the entire auditorium applaud.
Yeah.
So it was fun, man. It was fun.
Fun.
So thank you guys for watching. Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Let us know. Let's have a conversation about it. If you enjoy our review, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. Your link of YouTube channel will be down in the description box below. Exactly. Make sure to go subscribe to Alex. He's a really cool dude. And thank you for watching us. And
before we end, my link will be in the description. It's also Dr. Shadow 759, also known as Z Doctor. They call me
Z Doctor.
Yeah, they call me Z Doctor.
Z Doctor.
So that's it.
Say it with German accent. Z Doctor. Yes. He's in gaming videos. Z Doctor. So thank you guys for watching once again. Once more time. Hope you enjoy and peace out.
That was a